Okay, it is 10:08 a.m. and I'm basically going to be break even. I am looking at BURU. Maybe this thing can be an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder, head, and then this shoulder right here is holding VWAP, and then they could try to make a move. I do like how it hasn't been trading for too long and it hasn't had any like big volume days. So it's just less of a possibility that there are bag holders. I might actually have to record later. I'm gonna take a look at this. Alright, I'm back. Yeah, this stock is pretty toxic. I did have a trade with this one and it didn't work out. And I traded LMNL and this one kind of worked out. I liked how this one, again, had that good news and it didn't have like a bunch of big up days with a bunch of volume. I mean, there was one way back here, but that is not really that big of a deal. And I did take a buy. Is this gonna? No, it's not gonna halt. I did buy this at 933, and this was because of the fact it was holding above VWAP. Right here, VWAP at the time was 614, so it was looking like something where maybe it can start at the market open strong with good news, and it's the first green day. It holds above VWAP, it's above VWAP, and now I can try to continue the uptrend some more, break 650, and maybe even try to head even higher. I did buy with that in mind at 619, at 933, and I could have bought earlier when it was breaking above $6, but I wanted a little bit more confirmation, so I bought when it was holding above VWAP, and it didn't work out in this case, but I think that was a great mindset. I did sell at 934, and I regret not selling everything because there's been a lot of times where I just don't like the way it's trading after it's supposed to be really strong and it's kind of toppy, and then I sell everything and then it just drops a little bit, and then it continues the uptrend later and I'm no longer with a position. So I did sell the majority of my position, 15 shares at 934, because I didn't like the topping action at 625, so that was roughly around here on the wick. And then once it was breaking under VWAP and it was looking all ugly, it did downtrend very quickly. I don't know if I recorded when it was dropping exactly, but it dropped very quickly and it has a bit of a spread too. I did sell the remaining amount once it broke and definitely made a move under $6 and I was out in the 580s, 584. So that wasn't too nice. I did end up being down like, I don't know, $2.30 because I am trading with a $20 risk level. When I was in it right here around 619, I thought worst case scenario it gets back under $6, sells off big ugly red candle like this one actually, and it gets as low as $5. So I guess it's actually not too far of a guess of what worst case would have been, because this would have been worst case. Maybe you're trying to sell and you don't get filled or whatever, and you're at the very bottom when it finally caught itself. And then I did trade this one, LMNL, and this one was very sketchy because it was just uptrending straight up with a regular trend line, and it didn't have any like dips or anything. But I did buy at 956. That was way back here. Yeah, I never traded this actually, but when this broke above VWAP, I was interested in it, but because I traded BURU and that one failed, I didn't really want to trade this one so much. And this one did work out a little. It just was very sketchy the way it just held its trend line from the 660s as high as $7. And then I did try when it had a drop under VWAP. So no longer buying at a VWAP breakout, but a dip under it. And that was at, yeah, 956. I was in it right here at 638. And this was kind of like me feeling like it was going to bottom here, looking at where the chart is and the way it was trading and how it wasn't really selling off as much as it was previously. I was in it right here. I can't really explain it too much. A lot of it felt like intuition, and I wanted it to get to VWAP, and ideally it can break above VWAP, and if it's super nice, it breaks the day high or the pre-market high here and really uptrend. And I did sell in small pieces, 957. I sold a little bit just in case, it just works a little and then it fails. So at least I sold some for a slight profit to help me not be down as much on the trade when it, fails if it were to have failed. And I was at 957. I sold some at 647 right here. And then I sold some more at 653, which was right here, roughly at 958. And then, I was more interested in selling because it was very close to VWAP, and I thought maybe it might just get close to it and it doesn't actually get there. So when it wasn't looking that nice anymore, especially if I were to draw like a trend line, it was gonna break it right there in that red candle. It wasn't looking too nice anymore. I don't know why that one got deleted. All right, I did sell the remaining position at 649, and that was at 959, so right here. And yeah, it did sell off some more. It's now back in the 630s. I'm not too interested in this one unless it decides to make a move above VWAP. And this one's pretty toxic. I did consider this for an inverse head and shoulders again, shoulder, head, shoulder, but who knows, maybe this can be the shoulder and then it actually trades it, but I don't want to trade something that looks toxic like this. That's all I have for right now. It is 7:48 and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on a day, I think, yeah, 87 pennies, and that was 2 trades. Neither of these really worked out, at least when I was initially in it, for what I wanted it to do, but it did actually do something over a longer period of time. As for BURU, it didn't work out here holding above VWAP, but it did have a dip, and I like how it was able to make a move above VWAP and then get as high as the $7 price point. It did sell off, and there was nothing else interesting with that one, and then this one. Yeah, it also worked out. Not exactly when I was in it, and this was the buy at 956. It did break this low right here. It did make this move, but it wasn't until that it broke this move by just a little bit. It then turned around, which is pretty toxic. But I mean, that's nothing compared to BURU. And I'm glad that I was still on the right track. If I maybe tried it again, maybe once it broke above this 640 level again, as you can see, it's kind of a bit of a spread, but it did uptrend and it got to the 680. So yeah, that's pretty much it with that. There wasn't anything else that I was looking at. That doesn't mean there was something that you know um, that wasn't worth trading. Yeah, this looks pretty nice. I didn't see this. This happened much later in the day. It finally tried to do a turnaround. It's up 50%, and yeah, that's pretty much it. This one's also trying to regain itself, but not as nice as VORB. That's all I got for today. Good attempts right there. And I did have a small amount of shares with LMNL. As you can see, it was $12 risk global. Worst case scenario, if it were to have failed pretty horribly right here, if it were to have broken it, and then it goes all the way to 6. That never really happened, and I calculated my risk level when it was a bit higher. So if I had maybe 50 shares, that would have been better. I would have stuck to that, and I was a bit oversized in this one too, so I could have done better in that sense as well.